Milwaukee, and the final game of the year with the Chicago Cubs. The series ends here tonight. The season series ends here tonight. The Brewers trying to salvage this final game as the Cubs have won the first two, and a good crowd expected tonight. Derek Lee has been red hot. The Brewers have retired him exactly twice in this series. He's 6 for 8 with a couple of home runs, doing a lot of damage since July 1st, and he will be the #1 priority for Chris Narveson tonight. Narveson making his third start, coming off a career-high 5 innings in his last time out. And hi, everybody, and welcome from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder, and the Cubs are here one more time. The Brewers trying to pick up this final game, Rock. Derek Lee has been on fire really since July 1st, but specifically this year against the Brewers, he's found his way pretty much every night.
It's been amazing to watch Derek Lee go about his business. I mean, the Brewers have fallen behind very early in 2 consecutive ball games. Derek Lee right in the middle of it. You can see what Derek Lee has been doing, and most recently, he's been on the tear, not just against the Brewers, but just about everybody. Aramis Ramirez back in that lineup, giving him a lot of protection. There have been opportunities for the Brewers to pitch around Derek Lee in this series. They haven't done it because of Ramirez, so that tandem has been red hot, and Derek Lee is the beneficiary of some good protection in that lineup. Chris Narveson making his third start with the Brewers this year. I mean, he has really thrown the ball well since being sent down. He's appeared in 9 ball games. He's made 2 starts, and he's got an ERA just a bit over 2, so he's got to keep the Cubs off the board early. The Brewers just cannot fall behind early again tonight.
Well, the Brewers trying to get some answers on Narveson. Will be a factor next year. We'll see. He'll have a couple of more starts the rest of this season. It's the finale, the Brewers and the Cubs, and it's coming up next. AT&T, your world delivered. Roof is open on a beautiful night for baseball. A little hazy here in Milwaukee, but cool temperatures, comfortable temperatures, and good to see the roof back open once again. Had a lot of rain in the area last night. Cubs in town one last time. Lineup turned in by Lou Piniella, brought to you by Subway. He's got Ryan Theriot at the top, the young Tyler Colvin in just his third Major League game, batting second, with Derek Lee hitting third. Aramis Ramirez, Jake Fox, and Jeff Baker in the middle. Reed Johnson returns to the lineup. Giovanni Soto and Jeff Samardzija. And that lineup will face the left-hander Chris Narveson.
Well, he's had some pretty good success, as we talked about in our broadcast open tonight. His second stint with the Brewers has been pretty good. A 1-0 record and a 2.11 ERA, much better than his first time around with the Brewers. He's got to be careful with Lee and Ramirez, both of them hammering left-handed pitching this year. Aramis Ramirez hitting .361 against southpaws this year. And keep the opposition off the board early. Keep the Cubs at a 0 in the first inning. Can't fall behind early again.
Cubs scored 4 in the first on Monday, 3 in the first yesterday. And here's how the Brewers will line up defensively behind Chris Narveson. Narveson making his third career start and looking for his first win as a starting pitcher and trying to avoid early disaster. As Rock mentioned, the Cubs this series have scored 7 runs on 8 hits in the first inning. Yesterday the Brewers were down 6-0 after the first 2 innings. 7-0 they trailed after an inning and a half on Monday. So that is step number 1 for Narveson. 19th appearance of the year. He's been up and down between AAA and Milwaukee this year. He was a starting pitcher down in AAA Nashville this season. After beginning of the year out of the bullpen in AAA, when he went back down for a second tour, he was a starter. He was stretched out, so you figure he should be able to give Ken Maka around 100, 115 pitches maximum here tonight. Home plate umpire is Tony Randazzo. Chris Guccione on the bases with Brian Runge and the crew chief Jerry Lane. Set for baseball. Ryan Theriot leads off. Theriot comes in batting .286. Narveson's first pitch is in there, and away we go. Narveson used his fastball well in his last start, which was a career high for innings pitched for Narveson. He went 5.
And the fastball is pretty straight for Narveson. Not a whole lot of movement. Doesn't throw that sinker, but he's been locating it pretty well, both in and out to right-handed and left-handed batters. He's controlling both sides of the plate. And he's also got a pretty good changeup and a curveball that he flips up there from time to time. Well, if he's going to have a good start in the first, got to get this guy. This guy has been on base a lot against the Brewers in their last 2 series.
Theriot on base twice yesterday. 2 walks in his first 2 at-bats, and he scored twice. He was on base 2 times on Monday. There was a stretch in Chicago, and Theriot had reached base 8 consecutive times at the plate.
And a curveball that we're talking about, just a little bit high. Theriot fooled by that breaking ball.
Tyler Colvin will hit next. Fukudome has been batting second throughout this series, but with the left-handed starter on the mound. A shift in Piniella's lineup as Theriot bangs one out to Escobar. And 1 gone. And for the first time in this series, the Brewers have an out before a run scores.
Well, if you're going to try to avoid Derek Lee with men on base, you got to get the first 2 out in this order. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And Narveson do a good job throwing strikes and getting Theriot.
So here's Tyler Colvin up from Double-A, playing in Tennessee in Double-A. Had good numbers in Double-A for the Cubs. A .300 hitter, 14 home runs, 50 runs batted in. You look at him, he doesn't figure to be a big home run threat, but he got some pop in his bat. He made a catch last night they're still talking about. He robbed Ryan Braun of a home run in the 9th inning last night. It was a 7-2 ball game at the time. And had that ball gone out, all of a sudden It's 7-4. It's a save situation. They have to go get Marmol. Instead, Colvin made the play in deep center field. One of the best plays of the night in baseball.
Yeah, he covered a lot of ground in last night's ball game, going from the left field gap over to the right field gap. A perfectly timed leap, taking away the 30th home run of the year for Ryan Braun. That would have been number 30. Clearly would have been a home run.
Colvin slices one. Braun's got a long way to go, but runs it down. And it's out number 2 for Narveson. And here comes Derek Lee. Well, Rock mentioned it in the open tonight. When Aramis Ramirez returned to the lineup, which was the 6th of July, kind of coincided with these monster numbers that Derek Lee has posted since July 1st. He has 24 home runs and 70 runs batted in. That's tops in baseball from that July 1st demarcation.
Yeah, something clicked with Derek Lee, but it hasn't really hurt him too much to have a good run producer behind him in the batting order.
Cues that one foul.
Early in the year, when Ramirez and Lee were both in the lineup together, Lee still struggled. But as you mentioned, once July rolled around, Derek Lee started to swing the bat pretty well.
Well, what's been impressive about Lee is the fact that he's been able to use all parts of the field. I mean, he's driving the ball to every corner. He hit a home run to right field last night. He's pulled the ball deep to left. He's hit him to center field. The Brewers have seen a lot of Derek Lee here in the last couple of weeks. He had a big series in Chicago and is having another big series here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, which means in and out, not really working a whole lot. I mean, you got to rock the boat on him up and down in the strike zone as opposed to inside corner, outside corner. Certainly a guy that you got to keep down in the strike zone, especially if you're going to work him away.
Lee has 10 home runs in his last 20 games and is tied for the league lead in RBIs in the month of September. He has 21 ribbies this month. Casey McGee is on that list. McGee with 21 as well. 2-2 to Lee. Good breaking ball from Narveson.
And one with a curveball right after a changeup. A changeup on a 2-1 count. Well, you love to see that from Narveson. You want to try and stay away from a fastball and a fastball count. That's what he was able to do.
Lee's only been retired twice in this series. Make it 3 times. Narveson strikes him out. Sinks one away from him. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Chris Narveson. Brewers coming to bat. They face Jeff Samardzija when we come back. We wind down this season. Here's the batting order turned in by Ken Maka, and it's brought to you by Subway. Felipe Lopez, Jody Garrett, and Ryan Braun at the top. Maka has Fielder, McGee, and Cameron in the middle of the order. Casey McGee having a great month of September, finishing strong indeed. And it's Kendall Escobar and Narveson to round it out against Jeff Samardzija, making just his second start of the season.
Yeah, he's been up and down a couple of different times. His third stint with the Brewers. He's got a live arm, mid-90s fastball with some pretty good movement on it, but inconsistent with his other pitches. He's got a splitter and a slider. The key to his success, getting those two pitches over for strikes.
Samardzija has a major league contract. He signed a 5-year contract out of college. He was drafted by the Cubs. He was a football star at Notre Dame, an All-America performer on the gridiron at Notre Dame, a receiver, and signed a major league contract. And here he is in the big leagues, second year appearing in the major leagues as he retires Felipe Lopez for out number 1. Jake Fox, Tyler Colvin, and Reed Johnson in the outfield. Johnson returns to the lineup after an injury. Ramos Ramirez, Ryan Serio, Jeff Baker, and Derek Lee. In the battery is Giovanni Soto and Jeff Samardzija.
You see, he's made the one start, 19 appearances overall. Big earned run average for Samardzija. Too good of an arm to have numbers like that. He just needs to throw the off-speed pitches for strikes. Doesn't matter how hard you throw. Big league hitters are going to get good swings at your fastball if they don't have to worry about anything else. He just missed with a splitter.
Jody Garrett back in the starting lineup. Garrett started last night in right field and hit 6th in the order. With the right-hander on the mound, Garrett bats second. And the way he's been swinging the bat lately, it's a pretty good spot for him. Garrett had 2 hits last night once again.
A good fastball hitter, and you have a fastball pitcher out there on the mound.
Garrett 2 for 5 in this series, has 7 hits on this homestand, including a home run and 4 RBIs. 7 for 11. Ramos Ramirez takes care of Garrett, out number 2.
Yeah, defense for Ramos Ramirez has been very good all season long, but the Cubs have struggled in that department. Somewhat of a surprise when you have guys like Ramirez and Lee on the corners. 101 errors. Third most in the National League. That's a surprise.
It really is. Of course, Ramirez missed a couple of months of the season with that dislocated shoulder. Piniella searching for a third baseman during that time. It's hard to believe you could have that many errors with Derek Lee at first base. He saves a lot of errors as it is.
Of course, one of the problems is you had corner outfielders committing a lot of errors as well. You had Alfonso Soriano and Milton Bradley both having horrible defensive seasons. Soriano 11 errors in the outfield.
Speaking of Milton Bradley, he issued a statement of apology today after he was suspended for the season. Milton Bradley made comments detrimental to the ball club and the city, and he was suspended for the rest of the year. General manager Jim Hendry letting him go for the season. He's still under contract. Bradley signed a 3-year $30 million deal as Braun rolls out, and that's a 3-up 3-down inning for Samardzija.
Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins on October 7th with the Division Series on TBS.
Narveson back on the mound. He starts his second inning of work. And the free swinging Aramis Ramirez taking a big hack at his first offering. Well, despite missing 2 months, Ramirez still putting up good numbers this year. Got a batting average at .325 to start the day. 14 home runs, 63 runs batted in for Aramis Ramirez in just 77 games.
Yeah, and he's never met a pitch that he couldn't pull and hit hard. A unique ability to stay back and get the barrel out in front of the hands and hook a pitch on the outside corner and hit it hard to left and left center. Makes it tough to pitch to a guy like that. Of course, your timing has to be just right in order to be able to do that. Bill Hall used to do that. You can get streaky.
Ramirez injured his shoulder right here at Miller Park. That was in May, early May, May 8th actually. He was diving for a baseball and dislocated his shoulder. It's a gruesome looking injury, and it knocked him out for a couple of months. Oh, there's a shot right off Narveson, right to Lopez, and that's going to be an out. And we'll check on Narveson to see how he's feeling.
Looked like he was trying to skip out of the way of that baseball. It hit something. Probably hit the foot. He got a piece of the foot and deflected over to Lopez for the out. He'll take that every time.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. I'm not even sure it
might have got him on the bottom of the foot.
Good spot to hit him. So the putout will go 1-4-3. Now we'll see if Narveson has a warm-up toss here. I bet he was waiting for the pain.
That's the kind of pitcher we're talking about with Ramirez. I mean, that ball off the outside corner, and he just smoked it back through the middle. Covers both sides of the plate pretty well.
There's Jake Fox swinging at the first pitch. Fox was a late addition to the starting lineup yesterday and went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Brewers out hit the Cubs yesterday 10-8, but lost 7-2. Randy Wells beat Dave Bush.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic of Dave Bush not being able to throw strikes. One thing Bush does not do, he might lose a ball game, but he's not going to walk and beat himself. He's not going to walk a lot of batters. He did that last night.
Now Narveson strikes out Fox. Second strikeout of the ball game for Narveson. That leads us to our Carsoup.com email the booth question. Steve in Wausau wants to know, could Chris Narveson be a full-time starter for the Brewers next season?
Yeah, you never know. You never know what's going to happen in the offseason. You hope that the Brewers are going to be active in trying to beef up their starting rotation. Depending on how Narveson finishes up, you know he's excited about these starts at the end of the season. He's throwing well tonight.
Now the big decision on Narveson is whether the Brewers keep him on their active 40-man roster. He is out of options, which means if the Brewers take him off the roster, then he can be available to every club. But what's interesting about Narveson, he's already gone through that once this year. When Don Money down in AAA Nashville sent him to the big leagues the first time, he assumed he would never be coming back, because if he was coming back, obviously he would have been made available to every other club. Good thing the Brewers have him back. He looks good so far tonight. A changeup for a strikeout gives him 3 already in his first 2 scoreless innings.
Escobar is back in the starting lineup, and he will bat 8th in Ken Macha's lineup tonight. And over the last 14 games, he's batting .348 with 9 RBIs. And I had a chance to catch up with Brewers hitting coach Dale Swain to ask him how surprised or impressed he's been with Alcides Escobar at the plate, because we've heard so much about his defensive skills before he made it to the big leagues. And Swain said he's been impressed with how he's been able to not do too much at the plate, and also he's very rare you see a young hitter not fooled that often, and that could be said for Alcides Escobar. And one more note, guys, it's good that he is in the lineup tonight, because against the Cubs so far this season he is batting .438, so we'll see if he can keep it going tonight.
All right, Telly, thanks.
Had a 4-hit game back at Wrigley.
Well, Escobar, a couple of hits last night and earned his way back in the lineup tonight. Escobar handled the bat well. I mean, it's not that he just got his hits, but the way he approached the homework he did on the pitcher Randy Wells. You know, he was a nemesis for Wells at Wrigley Field last time around as well.
Yeah, 4-hit game, and you know, it's one of those things where Escobar, if he continues to take the approach that he's had so far here with the Brewers and just try and get on top of the baseball and get his singles. Because with a guy like Escobar, the way he can run, singles turn into doubles, so all of a sudden now you have your extra base hit. He doesn't have to hit doubles to get into scoring position.
Fielder pulls one out to lead. Nice easy hop for him. And that is 4 ground ball outs for hard-throwing Jeff Samardzija. Fox Saturday Baseball in the national game of the week, the Red Sox and the Yankees. That division's still not over yet. Or you'll see the Cubs and the Giants this week, 3 p.m. Central, only on Fox. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. Well, the Cardinals' magic number is down to 2. A Cardinal win and a Brewers win tonight will eliminate the Cubs. The Yankees, meanwhile, they've guaranteed a playoff spot. But the Yankees still have work to do to secure a division title. The Red Sox are hanging around in the American League East. Boston starts the day 6 back, but they've won 7 of their last 10 despite losing back-to-back games. The big race right now is in the American League Central, the Tigers and the Twins. 2.5 game lead for the Tigers over Minnesota.
Yeah, the Twins have won 8 of the last 10 ball games. Detroit 5-5. So Twins have been able to pick up some ground. The interesting thing about the Red Sox 89-61, and they're 2 games under 500 away from Fenway Park.
Yeah, how about that?
That's too good a team to be under 500 on the road. Tough to win on the road these days.
Well, depending on what happens with the Tigers and the Twins, New York, Boston, and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim will be headed to the postseason. The Angels have won 90 games this year. High and tight, buzz bomb from Samardzija into McGee. And look at Casey right back in there, ready to hit. These two are teammates last year.
And he throws hard, Samardzija.
And a fastball strike. McGee is rung up. So these two pitchers off to good starts tonight. Narveson has retired 6 straight. And here's Samardzija with 5 in a row with a strikeout.
Young pitcher is doing a nice job early on, showing really no signs of nerves. Throwing strikes, and quality strikes at that.
Here's Mike Cameron. Cameron took the collar last night, but he homered twice on Monday, representing the only 2 Brewers runs on Monday night. And that gives him 21 for the year, his 8th season with 20 or more home runs in a campaign. Ryan Braun was robbed of his 30th last night by Tyler Colvin in center. As a team, the Brewers have hit 167 home runs this year, among the league leaders in the National League in that category. Once again, not going to be a 200 home run season. Cameron into center field. Colvin just about in his tracks. Makes a play for the out. 6 up, 6 down for both pitchers to start this game tonight. We head to the third. The Pig and Save, and by Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin. Roof is open on a Wednesday night for baseball at Miller Park, and the days are running out. It's kind of sad when you think about it. The regular season portion of the schedule here at Miller Park ends Sunday. Phillies will be in tomorrow, 4-game series with Philadelphia. Reed Johnson just back in the lineup, sends one down the line. And this will go for extra bases. Johnson, who has been out with a fractured left foot. Been out of the lineup since July 30th. He comes up with a double in his first time back.
Hey, he's a good player. He just gets it done. Took a grand slam away from Prince Fielder early in the season, and now fresh off the disabled list, able to rip one by Casey and get himself a leadoff double. First hit of the ball game comes from Reed Johnson. Well, you figure you're feeling pretty good. You know, Kosuke Fukudome red hot in the series. He's always hit well against the Brewers. He's out of the lineup, and lo and behold, Reed Johnson picks up right where he left off.
Cubs have a runner in scoring position. Giovanni Soto at the plate. Soto, the Rookie of the Year last year in the National League. He clipped Jay Bruce and Joey Votto of the Cincinnati Reds for Rookie of the Year. Having a down season this year, however. Tough to follow it up. Soto's always been a good hitter. You look at his minor league numbers, and he's always produced. Maybe really for the first time, certainly at this level, that he has struggled as a hitter in his career.
He's battled some injuries too. He's only got a little over 300 at bats this year.
There's a base hit. Back-to-back hits to start this third inning. Soto is aboard. Johnson over at third, and the Cubs with runners at the corners with the pitcher coming up.
And making some mistakes with the fastball all of a sudden. Able to get through the top of the order pretty well. Fastball right down the middle of the plate. Straight as a string, and Soto able to hit it hard into left field.
So here is Samardzija, likely to bunt Soto to second. Nobody out, runners at the corners for the Cubs. Samardzija hitless this year. He's making only his second start. And he takes a strike.
Yeah, that pitch down in the strike zone like that, knee high, tough to bunt. Tendency is for a hitter, you drop the barrel of the bat and you pop it up.
Pops it up. Ends up being a good bunt. Narvison's lollipop is in time. It's a scary throw for a left-handed thrower when you're trying to spin and find your first baseman over there.
And unless you put something on a throw, to the bases, you risk being, a little bit wild with the throw. He throws it so slowly that Samardzija almost beat it at first base. I'd like to put a little bit more on it than that.
Samardzija stopped running as well. Some guys have a tough time making that throw. Terrio into right. Jody Garrett squares it up. A left-handed thrower tagging is Johnson. The throw to the plate is a good one. Johnson stopped, and wisely. Johnson was busting it down the line, then stopped halfway. Great throw from Jody Garrett in right field.
Yeah, he took his time. I mean, he didn't rush his throw. I mean, I think he realized that it would have been 50-50 for Johnson to try and score. And because he took his time, he was able to get together an accurate and good throw with something on it. A nice easy hop for Jason Kendall as well. Well done by Jody Garrett.
Johnson really sold it at third base. He wanted to draw the throw in case it was a bad one, and then was ready to run if it had gotten back to the screen. Kendall thought he was still coming.
He might have tried it had he not had a bad foot. Probably still sore. Probably not running at full speed, but early in the season, I guarantee he tries to score on that ball.
Second and third with 2 outs now for Tyler Colvin. Chased one. Good pitch.
And the reason why he would have tried it is because you got the only left-hander in the lineup up, a young kid against Narvison. It's a good risk to take with 1 out. You try and score on that sacrifice fly.
Colvin has not looked overmatched at the plate in his first 2 games. A couple of hits, a walk. He's driven in a run. On the corner, down he goes. Narvison with an early fist pump. Pitches out of a jam. 2 on to start the inning, and Narvison gets out of it. 3 shutout for Chris. Third, tailgating starts at 11:30 on the Bradley Center Plaza with live entertainment, games, value-priced food and beverages. And then you can head into the Bradley Center as Coach Skiles runs a full team workout. Rock admission is free, and you can visit bucks.com for details.
When is that?
Saturday, October 3rd. It's a preview practice party.
I can't go.
Where are you going to be?
We got a game.
Oh, yeah. That's right. It's too bad. Maybe next year.
I might have gone.
I wouldn't mind watching Scott Skiles in action. Kendall leads off for the Brew Crew. Samardzija has retired 6 in a row. Kendall, Escobar, and Narveson. Narveson pitching out of a jam in the top of this inning. 2 on to start it, but he ends up getting through the inning without a run. Well, the key play, the throw from Jody Garrett, which sent Reed Johnson back to the base. Kendall, a little flare. Johnson had him shaded that way, and he makes a catch.
Now Samardzija doing exactly what the Cubs know that he has to do to be successful, and that's those strikes. And he certainly has been able to do that in the first 2+ innings. Throwing a couple of breaking pitches for strikes. Able to work ahead in the count. Same thing Narveson's done so far.
2 young pitchers pitching like veterans here tonight. Neither one with a walk. Narveson 4 strikeouts. Samardzija with 1. And both pitching for the same reasons. Trying to impress their manager for next year. Escobar lines one into left, a base hit. Alcides swinging a hot bat. That's his 27th hit here in the big leagues. That's going to get him near 300.
Yeah, able to center on that high fastball. Talk about Samardzija. He throws it 94 to 95 miles an hour. Gets on top of it and hits a linea into left field.
Well, Dale Swain's been working with Escobar, working hard. Narveson drops down a good bunt. Samardzija's only play is first. Sacrifice bunt for Chris Narveson. Well, unlike the last 2 nights, this game just has a good feel about it so far. A lot of execution.
Yeah, good fundamentals. Hey fans, bring your Thursday game ticket to Potawatomi for a chance to win fabulous prizes with Potawatomi Grand Slam Thursdays. Go to Brewers.com for details.
Two gone with the sacrifice bunt. Escobar now in scoring position. And it's Felipe Lopez. Lopez had a hit last night. Box score shows he was 1 for 5, but not indicative of how he swung the bat last night. Sometimes it's just not your night. He stung the ball on 3 different occasions. Could have easily had 3 hits.
Yeah, Tyler Colvin, took away an extra base hit his last time up. That covers center field pretty good.
Especially for a guy who spent much of the year in Double-A playing right field. We've seen a lot of visiting outfielders struggle, especially around the warning track and the wall area here at Miller Park. Not Colvin last night.
Well, he really doesn't know the pitching staff all that well. He certainly doesn't know the Brewer hitters all that well. And he's been positioning himself pretty well, getting good jumps. Looks like a pretty good player. And loved being in the big leagues right now. He just couldn't be happier.
Thought his season was over. He was already home and ready to get into off-season mode when the Cubs called. Colvin replaces Milton Bradley on the Cubs roster. Probably didn't expect to be starting in 3 consecutive games, but he's played so well and looked like he's belonged that Piniella wants to give him an extra look. Escobar at second. Posted the first Brewers hit with a single to left. We'll see if Lopez can put the Crew on the board.
Lopez is certainly one guy that you really can't play a shift. He hits the ball all over the diamond, line to line, and hits it where it's pitched. Straight up everywhere.
Samardzija missed. That's the spot to get him. But Lopez showed a good eye. He takes ball 4. The Brewers have 2 on for Jody Garrett. Two on with 2 out. Best threat for the Brewers here in this game. Cubs stranded a pair in the top of this inning. Garrett, the Chicago native. Little bouncer. And Lee will take it to the bag. Side retired. The Brewers strand 2. Still scoreless through 3 innings at Miller Park.
Impressive, going 3 innings and striking out 4 and only giving up 2 hits. And guys, talking to Ken Maka before tonight's game, he said he wanted to see Chris Narveson use his changeup more because it's a very effective pitch, and he seems like he is taking his manager's advice.
Yep, Ken Maka likes the fact that Narveson has come back and established the fastball, which sets up everything else, including the changeup.
There's changeup right there.
And Narveson with a couple of strikeouts on that changeup already in this game. Aflac trivia tonight. Who are the 3 players in this game that attended Notre Dame?
That's a nice question right there.
Nice Irish question.
That right there is not a Wednesday mail-in right there. No, that's a good one.
Stamp Liquor Society here tonight.
I know 2 of them. You probably know them all, don't you? Of course you do.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know.
We'll have that answer for you in the next half inning, so you can contemplate that in your living room or on the bar stool, wherever you may be tonight. We're glad you're with us. Narveson quickly to 2 strikes on Ramirez.
Ramirez doesn't get cheated, does he? He is 100% on that swing every time he goes up there, every time he offers it one.
12 seasons in the big leagues for Ramirez. It's his 9th full season as Narveson goes right back inside and strikes him out. How about 5 strikeouts for Chris Narveson at this point?
And 3 of them, check that, 4 of them have been the looking variety, so his control has been very good. A couple of them with the changeup, a couple of fastballs, and a curveball. He caught Colvin looking at a curveball back in the 3rd inning.
Chris Bosio impressed. Had Narveson this year in AAA. Jake Fox swings at the first pitch. Lopez squeezes it. Narveson through 4.
Inning before today's game, you see Matt Gamble out taking some extra defensive work. He worked with Ken Maka, and you see Willie Randolph just trying to make sure that he can improve at third base. And you know, they're talking about having Matt Gamble go down to winter ball to also iron out some kinks in his swing, because they felt like when he went back down to Nashville after being with the Brewers earlier this year, he really digressed as opposed to progressing at the plate. But Matt Gamble is more than likely headed to winter ball to hopefully improve on the defensive side of things as well as at the plate, guys.
Well, that'd be good for Matt Gamble to get some playing time and kind of step out of the spotlight a little bit. You know, there's always that balance for a manager between, you know, playing time for a guy and you're trying to get him some confidence. You don't want to go to the offseason wondering if he's a big league player. And the way he's swinging the bat right now, Ken Maka's not so sure that playing a lot is the best thing for his confidence.
Yeah, just keep digging a deeper hole for him, and that would be worse. Right now, it's a combination of a couple of different things. I mean, I think his mindset up at the plate, he seems to be in between on pitches. He's taking a lot of pitches, swinging the pitches out of the strike zone, taking the strikes, and he has found some mechanical flaws. He went back to video of last year, and he found that he has a completely different mechanical swing. I don't know how that develops over the course of time and without, you know, really monitoring it. I mean, it can happen, but it's a completely different swing this year than he had last year. He's more upright last year. He was a little bit more unbalanced last year. He seems to be leaning into pitches this year and not last.
Well, when you see these guys come up and they struggle, and most rookies do, they may have a period of good at-bats or good production at the plate, but usually as the league starts to find out about you, that's what is the real testament. But when you see that, and we see it just about every day now in the month of September, it makes what Ryan Braun has been able to do all that much more impressive.
Yeah, he's been able to adjust to the adjustments that the pitchers are making on him.
And he bangs one into left field, a base hit. So Ryan Braun singles, Second hit of the ball game for the Brewers, and a leadoff base runner. Aflac trivia. We're talking Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. 3 players in this game that attended Notre Dame. Got the starting pitcher, Jeff Samardzija. Everybody knows about Craig Counsell, but how about Aaron Heilman?
Yeah, I didn't know him. I knew Craig, that's for sure. Samardzija, big football hero at Notre Dame.
Fielder pops it up. Long run for both players. That one falls just foul. And a strike to Prince. Samardzija, not only was he all Big East in baseball, but he was first team All-America in football at Notre Dame. Set a school record with 179 receptions and 27 touchdowns back in '06. And his career in Notre Dame. Cubs drafted him in the first round, gave him a big league contract, and here he is as Fielder sends one deep to left. That one is well hit. Foxy is out of room. Prince Fielder, a 2-run home run, and the Brewers are on the board. Number 42 for Prince. 2-0 Brew Crew in the 4th inning.
Well, he would get on top of that high fastball, and Prince able to ride it out of here to the opposite field. Up out of the zone. And Prince with that big high finish able to ride it on out of here, just barely getting it over the left field fence for a 2-run home run.
Literally a flick of the wrist for Fielder. And Powerball home run number 42 of the year. Fielder now with 131 runs batted in. The career season continues for Fielder, and with every RBI he establishes a new franchise record.
And now 2 ahead of Albert Pujols in the race for the National League RBI title. No score in Houston, so he doesn't have any RBIs. Talking about Albert. Well, Prince Fielder taking one oppo. Give the Brewers their first lead in this series.
2-0 Brewers. Still nobody out. Here's McGee. Yeah, he's ahead in the count. And Casey out in front of an off-speed pitch. Well, Casey McGee starts the day in the top 3 in all the major offensive categories among National League rookies. Casey leads all National League rookies in RBIs to start the day. 61 ribbies for McGee. Second in batting average, second in slugging percentage, and his 15 home runs is 3rd best. Takes another called strike 3. McGee, for the 2nd time, goes down looking.
And Samardzija doing a nice job burning off that outside corner. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Too close to take with 2 strikes.
Now, twice McGee has thought he had walked. Instead, a couple of strikeouts. Two 2-0 to Cameron.
Even when the Brewer hitters, for the most part, know the fastball is coming, Samardzija has such good velocity and good movement that a lot of times he'll get it by him anyway. He missed with that 1-0 slider. Mike Cameron sitting up there thinking, all right, I got a fastball coming here, still not able to get the bat head out on it. He's got good stuff.
Oh, a hot shot right at Ramirez. Cameron robbed of a hit. Good play over there by Ramos Ramirez.
Well, once again, knowing the fastball's coming, able to tomahawk it and right at Ramirez at third base.
Well, this week, Fox NFL Sunday returns as Aaron Rodgers and the Packers head to St. Louis. They'll be taking on the Rams. Coverage begins Sunday with America's #1 pregame show at 11 a.m. Central. Packers trying to bounce back after a tough week last week against the Bengals. Kendall with 2 away. By the way, in our Aflac trivia, we have an amendment turned in by Gord Ash, as a matter of fact.
Tonight?
Yeah, John Axford attended Notre Dame briefly and then transferred out. So
nice.
It's kind of in the asterisk territory, but
right.
4 Domers in this game tonight.
Well, that was the question. I mean, those that attended didn't say graduate.
Exactly.
Well done, Gord.
Nice going, Gord.
Nice job.
Kendall into center. And Colvin's got it. Sinking line drive for out number 3. The inning is over, but Prince Fielder and his career season continues. An opposite field home run. The Brewers a 2-0 lead as we head to the 5th. Home run, and he is in fact the home run derby king.
Hey fans, visit the official online shop of the Brewers at brewers.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the brewers.com shop.
Two to nothing Brewers here in the 5th inning, and Narveson back on the mound. He has 5 strikeouts thus far, facing Jeff Baker to lead off. Narveson's career high for strikeouts is 6. His career high for innings pitched came in his last start, 5 innings. Struck out 6 batters in a start back in 2006 with the Cardinals. That was in Houston as he strikes out Jeff Baker. Strikeout number 6, and a lot of them have been the called variety. Time now for our U.S. Cellular text to vote question this week. You can text your answer to 234-234. Which feat do you think is more impressive this season? You can text W for Ryan Braun becoming just the 6th player in the history of the game with 100 home runs in his first 3 years. Or you can text X for Prince Fielder setting franchise records in walks and RBIs. That's a close battle between those two, the faces of the franchise. Love to hear from you. 234-234, the text number courtesy of U.S. Cellular.
You know, Prince Fielder now 4 runs scored away from 100. That would be another nice addition to his season this year. Ryan Braun's already got over 100 runs scored. 100 walks, 100 RBIs, 100 runs scored, 40+ home runs, and the one thing I think Prince would like to see more than all of them, the 300 batting average.
Yeah, Fielder started the day batting .296. 1 for 2 tonight with a home run. Well, Narveson has another strikeout. That big bender has been a big pitch for Narveson tonight. That's number 7.
Now, the first strikeout came to Derek Lee on a changeup that he swung and missed. All the rest of them, all 6 after that, have been called strike 3s. A curveball right there getting Reed Johnson.
So a new career high for strikeouts for Narveson. Facing Giovanni Soto with 2 away in this 5th inning. They pulled the string on him, and Soto out in front of it. Fastball strike.
Look at that command. I mean, that ball right at the knees.
Got him. How about Chris Narveson? He strikes out the side, and all 3 looking. That gives him 8 for the game. 7 of them with called strike 3s.
The Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a 2010 April or May Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin at Miller Lite.
I assume that's up there in Rhinelander.
I didn't think I had to say it twice.
Hanging out at the country club.
Redundant.
It's kind of like the 19th hole. Escobar leads off. Had a hit his last time up, the first Brewers hit. Brewers have 3 hits. Escobar, Braun, and Fielder. Fielders went out. A 2-run homer, and that's where we sit 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Escobar now batting .303 with his hit last time up, and the Brewers would like to see him do that at least once a game.
He's certainly got the speed to be able to get a bunch of bunt base hits, infield hits, bunt hits, single, steal second. That's his game.
Gonna bouncer up the middle. Terrio makes a play for out number 1. Escobar retired.
Andy Warhol, the last decade, is coming to the Milwaukee Art Museum into the ultimate Warhol experience. See, the legendary artist he has never been seen before in the first U.S. museum exhibition to examine Warhol's final years, starting Saturday and running through January 3rd, 2010 at the Milwaukee Art Museum.
Here's Narveson up there taking his hacks. He's still looking for his first big league hit. Chris Narveson has a masterpiece working on the mound thus far. Working on a 2-hit shutout through 5 innings. He has 8 strikeouts, career high for Narveson. He's ready for that first hit. As you can imagine, Narveson has not hit much in his career. 0 for 4 this season.
We don't want to get too greedy here tonight, do we?
I think you do at this point.
Is it time to get greedy?
It is September, and it's time to start clipping off the firsts. You know what I mean? It's already been a career night for Narveson.
Okay. I think you're getting greedy.
Well, you know what? We had a little positive movement with Narveson with the sacrifice bunt, his first non-strikeout. And he's fouling some pitches away. It's all trending in the right direction is what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to play the trends. If nothing else, he's made him work. The 7th pitch of the at-bat to the Brewer pitcher. Little Rod Carew action there.
Good job.
Huh?
Yeah.
Into the wrong hands.
And just trying to fight off that outside corner. Able to get on top of it and stay alive.
Down he goes on strikes.
And the old equalizer, the breaking ball.
It was a hard-earned strikeout, though, as Samardzija picks up his 3rd. Still got a piece of it. He just got unlucky.
Yeah, not much of that baseball was in the glove after the foul tip.
2 outs, top of the order. Here is Lopez. Felipe walked his last time up. He's 0 for 1. His nickname is Flip, which works on a lot of areas. He asked me to guess why they call him Flip. So I said, well, Felipe, Lopez, Flip. Nope. How about the way you flip on a double play, maybe? That's not it either. They call him Flip because in high school, he attended the same high school Ricky Weeks. They played on the same team. He would do an Ozzie Smith flip. He'd do a back flip when he'd take the field.
Well, that makes sense.
And he's got it tattooed on his forearm in case he forgets. Rolls over one to Lee. And that's the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Samardzija. We head to the 6th, see if Narveson can keep his career night going. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Well, Jeff Samardzija showing some big power. He hits one out to right. His first home run. And the Cubs are on the board here. Narveson just cruising right along, and it's Jeff Samardzija who provides the offense for the Cubs at this point.
That big, strong right-handed hitter able to get one that was up out over the plate. It was on the corner, but up a little bit, and Samardzija takes it out of here to right field.
With plenty on it. There's a little flare, and that's going to fall a base hit, and here come the Cubs. Aggressively after Narveson here. So with Narveson throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, the Cubs swinging away early in the count.
Well, sixth inning, pitch count in tremendous shape for Narveson, only 61. 61 pitches, 46 of them for strikes. He's only thrown 15 balls. Amazing stuff.
Samardzija only the second Cub pitcher to homer this season. Carlos Zambrano has 4. That wasn't a wall scraper by any stretch. That was an opposite field second level bomb in the right for Samardzija. That gives you an idea of his athleticism.
Oh, now Chris Narveson's got to collect himself. He's given up 2 consecutive base hits. First time the Cubs have had a man on base since the 3rd inning.
All the runs coming on home runs here tonight. Fielder, an expected power source in the 4th inning, hit a 2-run homer. Samardzija, an unlikely home run hitter, putting the Cubs on the board here in the 6th. So Jeff Samardzija's first career hit is a home run. Narveson looking for a double play here. Colvin has good speed. Terrio likes to run, has 20 steals this season. Might be a good time to take off.
I think you figure Narveson is going to throw a breaking ball.
Colvin swings and misses. Down he goes. Narveson's been tough on the lefty tonight. And the first out of the inning. How about the night of Chris Narveson at this point, Rock? His first strikeout was a swinging strike 3. The rest of them have been called strike 3s.
Yeah, except for this last one to Tyler Colvin. He has been point on all night. Fastball, changeups have been very good. The curveball he's been very effective with. He made the mistake to Samardzija, hit the ball out of the ballpark. But I tell you, Ken Maka, the Brewers have to be very pleased from what they've seen from Chris Narveson tonight.
9 strikeouts. And he's allowed just the 4 hits as he gets ahead of Derek Lee. Tying run at first base for the Cubs. And a dangerous hitter at the plate in Derek Lee. Career high for innings pitched for Narveson. And a career high for strikeouts.
Yep, no walks. There's your key right there. Getting ahead in the count. Not hurting yourself with the base on balls. Brewer pitching staff have, in the last 2 series against the Cubs, have walked a number of batters, which hasn't helped them.
A changeup on the outside corner. Derek Lee barking at Tony Randazzo. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Todd Coffey in case Narveson can't get through this inning. Changeup's been a big pitch for Narveson tonight, and that'll make his skipper happy. Ken Maka, maybe more than most managers, preaches the deception in speed as he does the movement on pitches left or right.
And would prefer the changeup as opposed to the power curveball to get ahead in the count. And Narvison's been doing a nice job of that. I wouldn't call his curveball a power curveball, not the Gallardo curveball, because Narvison able to throw that more for strikes.
Puts one right by Derek Lee. Strikeout number 10 for Chris Narvison. And retiring one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now.
And a pretty hittable pitch, but you know, Derek Lee's seen nothing but changeups and off-speed pitches and fastballs for show. You can see where Narvison stacks up so far this year in strikeouts. Giovanni Gallardo leads the pack with 12.
And that's where it's going to end. Ken Maka is going to make a pitching change here. Well, that'll be the first question he'll face tonight in the postgame press conference. Narvison, a career high with 5 2/3 innings, will exit this game to a standing ovation. Probably feeling like Narvison is in uncharted territory in the first place. Takes him out of this game with 10 strikeouts, no walks, and 5 2/3 innings under his belt.
I'll tell you, if I'm Chris Narvison, I want to stay in there. I mean, how many opportunities do you have to have that kind of stuff and be pitching in a big league game and doing such a good job against a pretty good offensive club? Very surprising that he got hooked here with 2 outs in the 5th inning, or 6th inning, I should say. We'll see if it works out.
Career highs for Narvison in innings pitched and strikeouts tonight. So here's Todd Coffey to face Aramis Ramirez.
You know, pitch counts are one thing, but he really didn't show any signs of being tired.
Ramirez is 0 for 2. Narvison struck him out looking his last time up. Terrio takes off. Kendall has a chance here. The throw is dropped by Lopez. Right on the bag.
Boy, what a throw by Kendall. Should have had him. Goodness gracious, that ball was right on the bag, and Terrio would have been out. It'll be a stolen base, but it should have been an out. Tremendous throw by Jason Kendall, right on the money. And Lopez just clanked it, got it down on the heel of the glove.
21st stolen base of the year for Terrio. Boy, that's a big mistake for the Brewers. See if Coffey can get around it here. Now the question is, how aggressive will you be with Ramirez up there? You have a base open at first. A young hitter on deck.
Yeah, ordinarily you don't want to put the go-ahead run on base. I mean, Ramirez is a kind of a guy. He's a kind of a run producer where you would think about being careful, particularly when you're down 2-0 in the count.
Breaking ball for a strike. Threw him a 2-0 slider, and Ramirez takes it. Jake Fox is the next hitter. Well, I'm looking forward to hear what Ken Maka has to say. Brewers Live postgame. We'll have his press conference for you, but that'll be a very interesting topic. Obviously, he's been calling for his starters to go deep in games, but Narveson making just his third start. Maka has told us this year he has two philosophies with starting pitchers. He does everything he can to allow them to win the ball game. If they're trailing, he'll let them stay in to do everything he can to allow his offense to come back and give him a chance to win. But tonight, Narveson exits after 5 2/3. Just missed. Boy, that didn't miss by much.
You can understand pulling him if he struck out the first two hitters, then gave up the home run and a hit. But he gave up a home run and a hit and then struck out two batters, including Derek Lee. Seemed as though he was getting stronger as that inning went on.
Runner at second, his responsibility. 2-1, the Brewers lead the Cubs. And Ramirez hangs tough. Now, either way, Narveson's going to exit this game feeling very good about his start tonight, leading up to his next start. And two good outings in a row for Narveson. Full count to Ramirez. Ramirez walks. 2 on for Jake Fox. What we've seen of Jake Fox at this point, and hasn't had a lot of at-bats against the Brewers, but he loves that first pitch breaking ball. He can hit the breaking ball, and he'll swing at the breaking ball.
No, the hanging slider, and he likes the fastball up in the zone.
There's a slider that misses down low.
He even sets up in the box looking for a hanging breaking ball, doesn't he? He's way up in the box and on the plate, protecting against that outside corner. Not too many guys are that far up on the plate.
And he got a breaking ball and he swings at it, cuts right through it. That was a good pitch by Coffey.
Kept it down.
Jake Fox in stark contrast to a guy like Ryan Braun, who stands as far back in the box as possible, digs up that back line. This is the kind of spot in the batter's box you see players who are going to bunt. Another breaking ball he chases, and it's 1-2.
Nobody hits those last two. They don't care where you're standing in the box. Those are good sliders from Todd Coffey. Be careful here. Don't mess around. You're going to throw the fastball. Don't throw it for a strike.
Kendall having Coffey shake off a couple of times. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 on for the Cubs. Another slider. He rolls over one. McGee's got it. Easy play, and the inning is over. Maka makes the move, but it works out. Coffey gets through it. Narveson still in line for a win. There's 42nd of the year. Then Jeff Samardzija, his first major league hit, a solo home run to start the 6th inning. Narveson was taken out. Todd Coffey got out of the inning, and it's still 2-1 Brewers as we head to the home 6th. And now the Crew trying to give Narveson his first win as a starting pitcher. It would be his 2nd win overall. Well, you got to be impressed with what you saw tonight from Chris Narveson.
Used all of his pitches and threw them all for strikes. He just seems to get better every time he goes out there and makes a start.
Jody Garrett sends one deep and out of here. Number 9 for Jody Garrett. He continues to swing a hot bat. The Brewers get their run back. It's 3-1 Milwaukee.
All right, fastball center cut for Jody Garrett. A little bit out away from him and able to stay back and put a nice swing on it. He got a quick bat through the strike zone. He really does. Able to get that back spin and get it way back. Second deck and right. So the Brewers have their 2-run lead back.
And all 4 runs in this game on the home run ball tonight. Garrett 1 for 3. Rewarding his manager for the bump up in the lineup. Hitting 2nd tonight in front of Braun.
Really staying closed very well lately. Last month, 6 weeks, he's been able to keep that front shoulder closed, and because of that, staying inside the baseball, not rolling over on pitches and grounding out.
Ryan Braun lines one to left, a base hit. Well, the hits are coming now for the Brewers. A home run and a single, and now Braun is up for a fielder, and here comes Lou Piniella from that Cubs dugout.
Lou Piniella can have a relief pitcher start to warm up when he takes that top step of the dugout, and he would be loose by the time he got to the mound.
He could get in 10 pitches on his walk to the mound. Piniella takes out Samardzija. So the Cubs starter is out. 3-1 Brewers will take a timeout. Wrist for Prince. His 42nd home run of the year gives him 131 runs batted in. That is a major league high. Jody Garrett homer to start this inning. His 9th of the year, 2nd against the Cubs in the last 2 weeks. Samardzija is out, 5 innings, surrenders 5 hits and 3 runs. Ryan Braun still his responsibility over at first base.
Yeah, good outing for him too. Both young pitchers faring pretty well tonight.
So here is Fielder. With Braun at first, nobody out. Facing the left-hander, Sean Marshall. Marshall pitched a scoreless inning last night. Worked a scoreless seventh, retiring Fielder, his final hitter.
Brewers have seen him a lot in the last week to 10 days. Gets a lot of work. 53rd appearance this year for Marshall. Been hit around a bit. 4.41 ERA.
Well, Fielder is still making a run for another franchise record this year. He's already set the franchise record in walks and RBIs. He has a chance to set his own franchise record of extra base hits. He's currently tied for the top spot with Robin Yount, as Fielder drove in, had 87 extra base hits back in '07. Could own it for himself this year. And there's a possibility he could break into the top 10 in the franchise record books and runs scored as well. Right now, Fielder with 78 extra base hits. So he is 9 away from his own record. Curveball almost hit him.
I don't think Prince tried too hard to get out of the way of that. Almost looked like he was leaning into it. Those don't hurt much, those curveballs.
It's like mosquitoes. They leave a little mark.
Glancing blow.
Ryan Braun at first, 2-2 to Prince. Oh, and a big cut, and down he goes. The wave and the miss, and even his strikeouts are entertaining.
The old Boomer Wells curveball almost falling straight down. Look at the arc on this baseball. Straight down, good pitch over the plate, and Prince swings over to the top of it.
Well, Marshall in to face just the one hitter. Left-hander is taken out. And Piniella back to the bullpen. We'll set up the new hurler when we come back. What is Tommy John surgery and what does it do?
That's a very complicated answer. It's ligament replacement surgery, where you have one ligament in your elbow that is completely frayed off and not really much help. You take a ligament from a different part of your arm, you put it in its place, and supposedly you're going to be just fine to throw the baseball again. Or somewhere else. Doesn't have to be from your arm.
Or it could be from a cadaver.
Could be from, yeah.
Like Alan Embry.
That's right.
They put a hot ligament in his elbow. He came back throwing about 3-4 miles an hour faster when he returned.
So basically ligament replacement surgery, which 30 years ago was pretty much unheard of. Careers were over at that point. Not anymore.
Casey McGee against Justin Bird.
30, 40 years ago.
Tommy John, it's called the Tommy John surgery because Tommy John was the guinea pig. He was the first to have it done in baseball. And he pitched 26 years, 13 before, 13 after. And most pitching coaches will tell you there are two kinds of pitchers. Those who have had Tommy John and those who are going to have Tommy John surgery.
Not very encouraging, is it?
I know. Tough way to make a buck. 0-2 to McGee. Oof. McGee has looked at 2 called strike threes in this game.
Justin Berg has thrown a lot as well. He pitched on Monday, 2 scoreless innings in that Cubs victory. Good sinking fastball. Just a bit low that time to Casey.
That's a balk. Bird will balk Ryan Braun to second base. Called by the first base umpire, Chris Guccione.
Yeah, on the mound, set to go.
Huh?
There's the flinch. The flinch with the arm.
Isn't it amazing you can get called for a balk on that and not for a fake to third and a throw to first?
It's supposed to be anything that's deemed to be deceptive by the umpire. And if that first to third move is not deceptive, that's the definition of deceptive. You're trying to deceive the runner.
That's one of those strange baseball rules. Now McGee with a chance to drive in a run. 3-1 Brewers. Braun takes off. McGee strikes out, and the throw gets away from Ramirez. Ryan Braun steals third base as McGee is down on strikes for the 3rd time.
Tough day at the office for Casey. Ryan Braun with a big lead, bouncing around out there. He takes off. It's a pretty good play by Ramirez to knock this ball down. You see Giovanni Soto goes behind the runner. The throw sails, and Ramirez gets enough of it to keep it in the infield.
Stolen base number 16 for Braun. Cameron up there with 2 away. Cameron is 0 for 2. He lined out his last time up, hit one sharply right to Ramirez at third base. Oh, and 2 to Cameron.
And just a bit outside.
Cameron chases, and the inning is over. But the Brewers get a run. Jody Garrett homers. 3-1 Milwaukee. taste greatness. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Our Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers wrap up their series with the Cubs tonight. The Phillies come to town tomorrow, the reigning world champs, and they are playoff bound. Phillies will have a chance to clinch here at Miller Park, which would be the second consecutive year they've sprayed the champagne here. If they do so, the Brewers will try to keep them from doing that. 4-game series with the Phillies beginning tomorrow, and all games on Fox Sports Wisconsin. David Weathers on the pitch. Todd Coffey got through the 6th inning, and now Weathers will work the 7th. And if Maka has it his way, he'll have Vargas in the 8th and Hoffman in the 9th.
We got it mapped out. That's, the benefit of having some consistency at the end of your bullpen, and the Brewers have had that lately. That Weathers, Vargas, Hoffman rotation has worked pretty well.
Vargas did pitch an inning and a third last night. Weathers has been called on to pitch multiple innings as a Brewer. He was pretty much a 1-inning pitcher with the Reds. But a little different role here in Milwaukee. Jeff Baker at the plate. And Weathers ahead of him 0-2. 3-1 Brewers on 5 hits, including home runs from Fielder and Garrett. Bobby Scales on deck.
Yeah, Lou Piniella with 4 switch hitters on his bench. Coy Hill, Bobby Scales, Aaron Miles, and Andres Blanco.
Little flare in the right. Jody Garrett is over. Can't get it. That's a fair ball. And Baker is on with a lead single on a 2-strike pitch.
Tickets for the Brewers On Deck 2010 are on sale now. Set to take place Sunday, January 31st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Midwest Airlines Center. Brewers On Deck is the Winter Fan Festival that will help bridge the gap between the Wisconsin winter and spring training. Tickets can be purchased at the Miller Park ticket office. You can also call 414-902-4100 or go to brewers.com.
Leadoff base runner for the Cubs. Reed Johnson lifted for Bobby Scales. Cubs pinch hitter here. Scales as a pinch hitter has been very good for Piniella. 6 for 10 at the plate. That includes 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. That's getting it done coming off the bench.
Maybe one of the reasons why he pulled him from the lineup on Monday. Realized that, hey, he's my best pinch hitter.
Don't want to take away his most productive spot. Although I'm sure Scales appreciated the playing time.
Actually, that was yesterday, Tuesday.
Slices that one down the line. That's trouble. That's going to get down to the corner. Baker has a chance to score here. He'll be sent, and he will score. So Scales does it again. A pinch hit double and a run batted in, and it's 3-2 Brewers.
Both base hits. Neither one of them hit all that hard, but both hitters able to take it to the opposite field. Not a bad pitch by Weathers. Check it out. Bobby Scales out on his front foot. Down in the trademark. Goes down and gets it and dumps it down the left field line. Jeff Baker with a jam shot down the right field line.
So here is Soto now. Still nobody out. Tying run at second. Soto takes a strike. Mike Fontenot is on deck. He'll hit for the pitcher. Soto singled in the 3rd inning. Narveson struck him out looking in the 5th. Weathers win an inning against the Astros, picked up a strikeout. As a Brewer, his ERA at 3.5. Just over 20 innings after the trade from Cincinnati to Milwaukee. That was after the trade deadline. That was a waiver wire trade made between Walt Jocketty of the Reds, the general manager, and Doug Melvin of the Brewers.
David Weathers has always been a guy that's relied on keeping the ball down. He's always had a good changeup and works away most of the time. Doesn't come inside too often. Needs a ground ball here.
And he hit him. Wait a minute. Foul ball hit the bat. Boy, that is a big break for Weathers and the Brewers. Instead of first and second, nobody out. A foul ball as Soto didn't get the bat down.
Well, he got the head out of the way, but it hit the bat. And it actually hit the barrel of the bat.
Wow.
Man alive.
That's great camera work.
Soto lucky that ball wasn't fair. I've seen that happen before.
And he bounces one to Escobar, who winds up and throws him out. First out of the inning.
That's what he needed right there. Not only did he get the ground ball, but he got a ground ball to short. And Scales has to stay at second.
So a little strategy conversation here with Jason Kendall and David Weathers. Got a left-hander coming up. And Mike Fontenot, a base open at first.
Well, got to go right after him here. You don't want to put the go-ahead run on base with the top of the order coming up.
Fontenot pinch hitting for the pitcher, Justin Berg, who goes 2/3 of an inning. Weathers right after Fontenot, strike one.
Yeah, Fontenot likes the ball up, and particularly up and away, so he can just flare that ball into left field. That's his bread and butter. You get behind him in the count, you get the count in his favor, he will jack one on you. He's got 9 homers. Keep the ball down on him, you're in pretty good shape.
Bouncer over the middle. Lopez backhands it, strong throw, and it's in time for the out. Close play at first base, and here comes Piniella. He wants an explanation from Chris Guccione. A great play by Lopez.
Right, bang, bang at first base, and Chris Guccione actually walking toward Lou Piniella. Oh, yeah, how about Felipe Lopez going up the middle, bang, bang at first base. It goes to the Brewers, and that's our Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game. Felipe Lopez getting Mike Fontenot at first base. Could have gone either way.
Boy, look at that shot.
I mean, how can you really argue a call with the umpire when you can't really tell safe or out on slow motion?
Looked like he had him. They're usually right. That's why they're the best in the business, these umpires. Guccione made the call. Cubs manager didn't like it, but the Brewers have 2 outs. Looked like Guccione had it right. Throw into the glove of fielder just before Fontenot stepped on the bag, and that's with some serious super slow-mo right there.
Well, you know, it's close enough where you couldn't argue either way. He called him safe. It would have been Ken Maka out there.
Terrio, a little flare. Lopez pulls one down. And the lead is still intact. Felipe Lopez makes two spectacular plays to end the 7th inning. How about that?
Over Chicago, two really outstanding plays by Lopez, the last 2 outs of the last frame. Davey, take us through it.
Well, right here he makes a really nice play, shows good arm strength as he has to throw off balance. But watch right here, he's called out. It was a great play, but the runner is out as he hits the back part of the base. If he hits the front part of the base right here, watch this, as he's going just to the backside, he is out right there. And watch, that's why they call him flip. We heard him, you know, you can't flip if you can't sky. He got up there pretty good. Nice play.
And he gets Ryan Terrio on the final out with a runner at third base to preserve a 3-2 Brewer lead. At this point, we'll be looking at defense for our on-field instructional coming up after the ball game. Full post-game coverage as well, so stick around for Brewers Live post-game. Brian?
All right, thank you. Great observation by Davey as Fontenot to the back of the base. Bobby Scales stays in to play right field. Lopez with the hops.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can get, you know, 3 or 4 baseball guys look at the same play, and everybody, each one would have something else to talk about on every play. Davey Nelson, a base running coach. He was a base stealer, and certainly that would be something that he would look for. Good job by Davey Nelson.
And something that, you know, you can take as good instruction as well, you know, to hit the front part of the bag. And because to the naked eye, that looked like a safe call. It looked like Fontenot had beat the throw, but Guccione, the umpire, was right on top of it. He made the right call.
Game of inches, right?
You got to give him credit.
You get that toe in the front part of the bag, he's safe.
Well, Kendall tries to drop a bunt down, unsuccessful. And now Escobar will hit. The new pitcher is Jeff Stevens. Jeff Samardzija started. Sean Marshall and Justin Bird helped finish the 6th inning. And now Stevens starts the 7th. 3-2 Brewers. Escobar has singled and grounded out in this game. And there's Vargas getting ready for the 8th. Stevens, the fourth pitcher used by Piniella.
Yeah, Stevens came over from Cleveland with two others in that Mark DeRosa deal. That back in December.
Seemed like a costly deal for the Cubs. You don't know what kind of pitcher Stevens is going to turn out to be, but DeRosa, such a big part of their club last year, and you see his presence alone in St. Louis has had an impact.
And to say, you know, good run producer, you can play him anywhere, and his influence in a very volatile clubhouse for Chicago this year, I'm sure sorely missed.
DeRosa will be a free agent at season's end. Somebody asked him in Houston, Cardinals are playing a series against the Astros, and somebody asked DeRosa about returning possibly to the Cubs, and DeRosa said he wouldn't rule it out. He enjoyed playing in Chicago. I'm sure there'll be some teams on his list. Think about DeRosa. He's got a wrist injury that has a lot of general managers concerned. It's going to require surgery at the end of the year. Wrist injuries, hand injuries, those are the ones that are in the unknown range when it comes to hitters.
Nothing worse for a baseball player than have those areas giving you trouble, and they have a tendency to linger all year because you really can't rest them properly. And in Ricky Weeks' case, when you have that surgery that ends your season, it's always that question in your mind whether you're going to be able to come back. How well is he going to be able to do in spring training? It becomes a mental block at times. I think Ricky has an advantage because he's been through it before.
He's been through it on the other wrist, and he's come back and had success, and he knows what it takes to come back from that injury. So he is a steel trap mentally, Ricky Weeks. I've been so impressed with him on a couple of occasions, you know, injuries that he's dealt with, and
standing around that batting cage every day during Brewers batting practice, you know, he's just dying to get in there and use his bats that Prince has been using all year.
There's Catalanato with 2 outs, pinch hitting for David Weathers. Corey Hart still available on the bench. Weathers gives up a run and 2 hits in his lone inning.
I wonder next year Prince is going to order his own bats with his name on it. Same model as Ricky's, but
I don't think so.
His name on it, or is he just going to have Ricky Weeks have double orders?
I think Prince signs all of his bats, you know, and gives them away, because he certainly doesn't use his own bats.
Right.
Even in batting practice today, he was using Casey McGee's bat. They shared a bat in batting practice.
Doesn't matter. If you can hit, you can hit. BP just to get loose. You know, guys work on things in the cage, you know, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
We're going to have to find out how many bats Fielder has used this year of different players. There's a little slicer. Fox was shallow, and he's there for the out. Well positioned for Catalanato. 3 up, 3 down for Jeff Stevens.
Hoffman. I think with 33 out of 34 saves, or 30, what has he got? I've got to read this. Oh, 34 out of 37 attempts. And you know, and the thing about it is, this team would not be anywhere where it's at right now if it hadn't been for Trevor Hoffman, and this guy has been outstanding.
You need the glasses to read the T-shirt.
Yeah, no, it just says, you know, maybe
fun with the telestrator.
How did Davey get a T-shirt with his name on it?
You know, Davey's got people.
So I had to help Drew.
Drew is your leader in the clubhouse right now. Still time. You can place your votes. I didn't think Drew ever won. Well, apparently he's got some backup.
Drew didn't even get equal time.
So Claudio Vargas is on to pitch the 8th. A tight game here tonight. It's been a good game as well. Very well played. Good fundamentals. Well pitched. Seen some home runs tonight.
And Claudio Vargas, outstanding work since coming over to Milwaukee. 24th appearance, and he's got a 2.13 ERA for the Brewers. Inning of third last night. Ken Maka looking for Vargas to get through the 8th.
He's going to have to earn it tonight. He's got to go through Colvin, the rookie, and then Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez. In the middle of that order coming up. Colvin bounces one to Prince. One gone. Vargas. Rock talked about his inning in the third last night. He did give up the one base hit. That was to the pinch hitter, Fold, and Vargas came out, faced one batter in the ninth inning, got an out, and that was it. And we were wondering why Ken Maka would not just leave him in to finish the game. It was 7-2 at the time, but this is the reason why Maka pulled him out of last night's game.
Well, I was more surprised that Vargas came in after his scoreless inning and threw to another batter.
Errant throw from Escobar, but Derek Lee is retired as Fielder puts the tag on. Those are the kind of throws that are a little bit frustrating concerning Alcides Escobar with guys like Willie Randolph and Don Money. They'd like to see that one right through the hat of Prince Fielder. These are big outs late. Fielder makes a nice play, and two going for Vargas, two ground outs. Here's Ramirez. I think Aramis Ramirez has swung at the first pitch in every at-bat in the series.
Well, if you give him a first pitch fastball, he will. Or you hang a breaking pitch. But Claudio has really done a good job of keeping that fastball away from right-handed hitters. Working the corners, keeping it down. Doesn't mess around inside too much.
Into right. That's playable for Garrett. How about Claudio making it easy? 1, 2, 3 right through the order. And we head to the bottom of the 8th. Brewers lead by a run. Matchup of the year, and a chance to eliminate the Cubs from the postseason officially. St. Louis's magic number is 2. Cardinals are losing tonight. Astros are shutting them out 2-0. That game's in the 8th inning. Lopez has made a lot of noise with his bat this year. As you see, the all-time saves king preparing for an opportunity. A cue shot, and Baker takes care of Lopez. So his bat has been a big story, but his glove tonight has been a story. Remember, Lopez dropped a throw from Kendall earlier right in the wheelhouse, but certainly redeemed himself with these 2 plays.
And moving around well, going back, a perfectly timed leap to save a run and to take a base hit away from Mike Fontenot. 5 errors for Lopez in 56 games as a Brewer.
Now Jody Garrett batting with 1 away. Garrett homered in the 6th and answered a Cubs home run in the 6th inning. Jeff Samardzija with his first major league hit. It was a home run in the top of the 6th. Garrett got it right back with his 9th of the season. John Grabo, the 5th Cubs pitcher. Grabo will be a free agent at season's end, and you got to think he'll be high on many general managers' list. A left-hander who can not only get lefties out, but give you extended innings, and he can handle right-handers as well.
And not afraid to rack up appearances. Grabo's 72nd appearance this year.
Garrett in the right center. Colvin runs it down for out number 2. All right, Rock, our U.S. Cellular text to vote still going on. We'll keep it going through Sunday. Want to hear what you think. Most impressive feat: Braun's 100 homers in his first 3 seasons, or Fielder's RBI and walk record, the franchise record in those 2 categories. What's more impressive in your book? You can text your answer to 234-234. W for Braun, X for Fielder. Ryan Braun tonight at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Has hits in his last 2 at-bats, also a stolen base and a run scored. And the best batting average against left-handed pitching in the National League. Braun hitting .418 against lefties. Ryan also leads the National League in multi-hit games. With 2 tonight, he has 57.
Yeah, that leaderboard filled with Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder, just about every major offensive category, either Ryan or Prince, and some of them both. Let's see how well Ryan Braun has done against left-handed pitching this year.
Braun and Fielder, the top tandem in baseball as far as run production goes. On the corner, called strike 3, and Braun is out. 3 up, 3 down for Grabo, and we are set up for Trevor time here in Milwaukee. Hell's bells will ring when we come back. all season long, it has been the best show in town. Trevor Hoffman's entry into a ball game, into a save situation, and Hoffman a chance at his 35th of the year, 34 out of 37, and making his 50th appearance of the season.
And bottom half of the order to have to get through. Claudio Vargas, outstanding work in the 8th.
Jake Fox out in front of that changeup by a mile, and it's 0-1. Hoffman gave him the Bugs Bunny pitch.
Just want to stay away from first pitch fastballs to this Cubs club.
Another one. Of Hoffman's 34 saves, 18 have been here at Miller Park. And no closer has the theatric entrance like Trevor Hoffman, the way it's supposed to be. The all-time save king.
Yeah, Trevor has saved almost half of the Brewers' wins at home. 37 and 39 here at Miller Park with those 18 saves.
1-2 to Fox. And a fastball that he fouls away. Trevor with 588 career saves. That's the major league record. Also has the most 20+ save seasons and 30+ save seasons. And even 40+ save seasons if you want to keep going. The 1-2 right off the end of the bat. 72 miles an hour.
And the only reason that Fox was able to get a piece of it is because it was up in the zone. Get that ball down where the first two were. He's an out. Ahead of the changeup and behind the fastball. That's what Trevor Hoffman has done for many years.
Opponents are hitting under 200 this year against Hoffman. Another 1-2 offering. Bouncer to Escobar. One gone for Trevor. Hoffman trying to secure the final 2 outs to make Chris Narveson a winner for the first time as a starting pitcher. His lone career win came as a reliever. He certainly pitched well enough to earn the win tonight. Narveson set a career high for strikeouts, working 5 2/3 innings and only 1 run.
And it looked like he could have kept going too.
One gone and a 3-2 Brewers lead. Here's Jeff Baker. And he rips one into left, a base hit. So the tying run is on for the Cubs. Baker has 2 hits.
Well, first pitch fastball, middle in, and Jeff Baker squares it up. Rips it into left. First pitch fastballs that are hittable. Very dangerous pitches.
Pinch runner for Baker. Pinella with plenty of bench to work with down there. The September call-ups will bring on Sam Fold to run. Fold is very fast. Here's Scales, his second plate appearance. Had a pinch hit double, driving in a run his last time up.
And a pretty good pitch from Weathers. Ball down about the shins and able to golf it, kind of slice it into left field for a double.
Oh, 0-2. Trevor Hoffman might be more effective against left-handed hitters than he is right-handers. Although this year he's picked up a slider, which has given him that third pitch against right-handers. He doesn't use it against lefties, but his great changeup makes him tough against left-handed hitters at the plate.
He likes to throw it to right-handers. To start him out. First pitch once in a while.
No balls, 2 strikes. Scales takes 1 and 2. Hoffman currently 6th in the league in saves. Could be a ground ball away from picking up number 35. Brewers in double play depth. And there's a called strike 3. Hoffman, a fastball burns off the edge. And Scales is gone, and that's 2 outs in the inning.
And risky proposition, looking changeup with 2 strikes. Perfect pitch on the outside corner. That's how you get to the Hall of Fame. It's easy. Just throw your pitch right there.
And all that time and energy spent thinking about the changeup. He gets the fastball. Comes down to their last out. Here's Giovanni Soto. Drops one in for a strike, a changeup. Popped him up. Should stay playable. Fielder calls off Kendall. That's your ball game. The Brewers win. A 3-2 victory for the Crew tonight. Chris Narveson wins his 2nd of the year and his 1st as a starter. Trevor Hoffman picks up save number 35. Career save number 5.